Alrighty, hello and welcome. Welcome to In Between the Pages with James Lott Jr. I am James Lott Jr. of JLJ Media, which I am the JLJ of JLJ Media. Yes, I say that it never gets old. Okay, so we have somebody who I just love the pieces. She is someone I found on the streets, okay? No, I found her online, and she is wonderful. She is part of two of my online media audio dramas. One, she had a role in the Cousins audio drama, where she gets to kick some ass and take some names on Cousins, which is like a part of my really short story podcast. And also, she's coming up on the upcoming. She plays Sugar Plum Fairy. The upcoming, oh my god, one second. The Grown Adventure of the Tooth Fairy that's coming up, and there's some chemistry between her and the lead guy on the show. The characters chemistry, of course, and so that's really fun. But she's also an athlete, and she's also a singer, kids. And she has a new song called Mantra. It's out. The video is out too. So we're gonna talk about that. It's about all get to know her a little bit. We're gonna hear part of her song. How we welcome one of my favorite people, Kelsey Campbell. Hello, Kelsey. Suddenly you're demure and quiet stuff. First of all, how are you?
I'm good. As I shared with you pre-show, it's been a wild day, as always with me. But I'm good. I'm so happy to be here chatting with you.
Yeah, so you're a person who has a lot. You're like me. We have a lot of energy. Whenever we go to tapings and stuff, you're like we have a lot of energy. We're in. I mean, were you always a go-getter, high energy person?
Honestly, it's funny because I don't know if I consider myself high energy, but I've always been very much of a go-getter. I think for me, it's more of I've always known how to turn my own switch on, and when I turn the switch off, I'm like, okay, bye guys, I gotta go recharge. But like since I'm not naturally an A-type person, I'm not naturally an extrovert. So I've had to learn, because of my skill set, you have to turn that switch on and you have to tap into it. And I have always been that way because I feel like I haven't always been naturally talented. I've had to figure out ways to tap into those things to make up for that. So
that's very interesting. So you say you're not a natural extrovert. You're not?
No.
I would have never guessed that. Seriously, yeah. I mean, you got long, but I just would have never guessed that. So you were kind of like a shy girl growing up, kind of to yourself.
Small groups, I think growing up, we didn't use the words introvert, extrovert. I just honestly, I knew that I needed time to myself, and I knew that I never felt like myself in those big, busy group settings. And I just thought I was weird growing up. I just thought a lot of things that aren't true until I got older and the culture has changed. And it's like, oh, we're just all wired differently. And I've actually done a lot of research on this as an adult. And so I do embrace it. But I think growing up, I don't even know if it was that I was shy, because if it's like me and you, I can just talk, right? It's not so much that I can't talk to people. It's just in certain settings. And a lot of introverts will say, like, you can give me a mic and put me on stage, but if you have me sing at MTV Unplugged, I'm going to sweat bullets, because it's like up close and very personal. And that gives me a little bit of anxiety, but it just depends. It really just depends.
Well, it's very interesting because you just said something also. You don't think you have natural talent, and you're an athlete. You're a great actress, from what I've seen so far, and a great singer. So I'm kind of like, you picked three places where you have to be good on some level, I guess. I mean, so how do you feel? Do you feel like you've grown into those as an athlete, as an actress? Did you grown? I feel like you have natural talent, but do you feel like you've grown?
Well, I think musically I do have some natural abilities, because I feel like that was just the skill set that I had, I think we all have something, and I just tapped into it at a young age. With athletics, I don't consider myself a natural athlete. I just work really hard, and I've been doing it for so long that people just think, and because of my successes, people assume it's natural. It's not. And acting, again, like, I think I can draw from being a performer, but I am very untrained. So a lot of what I do is just what I would just do. Even the agency that I recently signed with, they were like, you're really funny. You just kind of have like a funny, quirky. And I was like, really? I have never known that I'm funny. I have never known. I always just thought I was awkward, but it helped to hear it because I'm like, it's helped me recognize, oh, like I'll look at actors I admire and I'm like, oh, okay, I see what they're saying. Like, and I can kind of like develop that. But it's been a labor of love, and it's been 35 years. That's how old I am. It's been 35 years of me just figuring that out and totally embracing it and leaning into it, you know. And just because of how I grew up, and I'm sure you too, we just grew up in an era where like there wasn't a lot of diversity in character and in the way people looked, and I think times have changed, and I am rolling with it deep. Like times have changed, and it's given someone like me an opportunity to shine. Whereas growing up, I didn't feel like there was a place for me. So it's not that it comes natural. It's just that I saw the culture change and the industry change, and I was like, no, this is a time for someone like me to step out and, like, you know, even if it's uncomfortable, just to run with it and see what I can do. So
you've been I can tell you from experience with me, you've been very open. It's like, yeah, let's try it. Let's do it. I want to do it. From the very beginning, you were like, let's get together. Let's make sure we're all a community. That's what I wanted also. You and I are very a lot alike that way. And as you know, we have a great group of people who we work together, all very nice, and everybody's like supportive. And I noticed, and with you in acting, because it was an audio show, folks, so it's audio, so it's not video that has there's nothing visual to look at. Though I do put your pictures on all of our stuff to show people that I hired diversely. That's very important to me. But I want to show people that someone who looks like you can play any role as long as she can play it. It's like, why not let her play it? Why be restricted by how tall she is or how she looks this way or what color her hair is? Like, who cares? I always want to make sure that if the chemistry is there, like I said, we heard the chemistry on several of your co-stars. It was like, that was great. I'm like, why not?
Yeah. No, and I think that's true, and it's always been true. But I feel like in our culture, specifically here in the US, I think we just had to grow into it. And some of us have always thought that way. And maybe we were ahead of our time, or maybe we're just lucky that we're seeing it change. And luckily there's creators like you that give people like me an opportunity, because honestly, you know, when I started taking acting lessons, and I have a great acting coach, but it was when I jumped onto your shows that I was like, wow, I really grow a lot working with these people. Like, I am growing so much working with these other talents, and it has really built my confidence and shown me what I'm capable of. And I love that it's like we critique each other, and we do things over if we need to, but it's a very non-judgmental environment, which just allows people to grow, you know, and it's awesome.
Yeah, we don't need judgment. It's like we're all learning. Everybody's learning. That's why, and especially with my stuff, I'm like, we have to make sure no egos in the room, nothing going on. Just like, let's have fun, figure it out. You are very funny, you are, but you also, I mean, there's some stuff coming up in this series that's coming out soon, where her and the guy who's trying to pursue her, you sound so natural, of like feeling like, I can't even hear this, where you feel like, I'm just not sure about you, hurt me before. Like, you sound like you were really going through it. Like, you sounded, we were just like, because he told me after, his name is Ben Bryan, who plays the Nutcracker, the prince who's trying to woo her back. He was like, she's so natural at just like what a girl would think. Like, well, no, you hurt me before. Why? I do love you, but why would I take you back? You're so good at it. You're just so good at it. I can really hear it.
Thank you.
You're so good. No, you're so good at it. I mean, okay, so before we get to the music and stuff, where are you from originally? For people don't know where are you from?
Well, I'm kind of a nomad, but so I was born in Alaska, which I didn't even tell people that a lot. I would always kind of joke, I don't like people to know that. But it's funny because I visited there recently, and as an adult, right? And I realized there's reasons why I feel that way, because my life changed a lot there, and I left very young, and I just didn't have a lot of good experiences there as a child. And I'll be sharing about that soon on social media, so I won't give up too much today.
Okay, good.
But I grew up in Oregon, which I'm very proud of. I think growing up in Oregon has made me the person I am, in the sense that I naturally want to be inclusive. I naturally want to, and I just think, you know, for all the things, for all the flaws that we all have, and for all the ways as a country we're still figuring out things, I'm so grateful I grew up where I grew up, because I feel like I just learned very young that we have to take care of the environment. We have to, you don't have to like somebody to include them. You don't have to agree with somebody to include them. You don't have to agree with somebody, but they should have the opportunities you have. And that was just the culture I grew up in. And I'm so grateful. But I live in Arizona, which I also people refer to me as an Arizonan. And I've been here so long, and I've done a lot of things in my sport and in my community that make me feel like this is home. So I really feel like I am a nomad, because I feel like I have some real roots in all three places. And I'm actually really grateful to be here right now. It's definitely a place where I can develop my talent and still be involved in the sports world. And it's a good place to be for me right now.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's good. That's very well-rounded, though. I mean, it's very well-rounded. I mean, from Alaska to Oregon to Arizona, three very different places, not just geographically, but also very different.
Yes.
Mentally.
There's three seasons represented by the three states. We have
I know.
Winter,
Right?
summer, and rain.
Rain. That's it. I mean, seriously, it's very different. It's very, very different. How long have you been singing?
My whole life, as far as I can remember. I mean, I remember writing songs very young. I remember writing music when I lived in Alaska, and I left Alaska when I was like 6 or 7. Okay. And I remember writing about things I didn't know about, you know, I don't know. Like, I remember being young, very young. And this is going to sound kind of weird, but we all have that moment when we realize what we're meant to do, right? And I remember one day, I must have been like 6, 7, 8. I was very young, and a song came to me in my head. And this is how it's been my whole life. But I remember thinking, like, this is how I know God's real. Now, whether you're religious or not, that's really besides the point. I think the point I want to make is, in that moment, I realized there's something bigger than me, because like, there's something bigger just in giving this to me. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm just being inspired by this. Like, and I love songwriters and people with talent, man. But like, I think creators know, like, we just have been given a gift, and that gift, whatever we have, we know there's when you really realize what a gift your talent is, you realize there is something bigger at work here, right? And I just remember it was so obvious to me at such a young age. I'm like, there's somebody up there. I don't know if they're the singing gods or the religious gods, or I don't know what gods they are, but there is somebody up there that is like giving this to me. And it was so obvious. And so, yeah, I mean, like, and then I grew up watching the show Gem and the Holograms, which is going to date me quite a bit, but I have collector's items. I was obsessed with this show growing up. It was magical to me. It was pure escapism. And then, you know, I had very few mentors for me personally as a musician, but there was a few that just inspired me to want to do it. Yeah. So I just always knew, and I obviously there's other stuff I can do, but I've always known that I wanted to sing, and I've always wanted to write.
One of my best friends interviewed the girl who played Jim, did the voice.
No. Oh my gosh.
I'll pass it on to you. I'm gonna send you the link.
Oh my gosh.
Too.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm writing it down right now. He interviewed her because he's a huge fan too. So
that's incredible.
Yeah, he got to meet her and then interview her. So that was kind of fun. So you said, I go, oh my God, him too.
Super jealous over here.
Oh yeah, no, I'm like, what interesting. Well, a whole generation of you guys, he's around your age. You guys all like Gem and Hologram. That was a big thing.
Gem and Holograms. Hi.
Oh, there you go. Oh my God, you are a fan.
I'm so weird. I have weird stuff like this all over my room. It's I
have Baby Yodas right here, so I understand. Okay. So what are you writing these days? Mantra's out. We'll talk about that in a second. But what else are you writing these days? What kind of songs are you writing?
So, I mean, it's not even like a lot of the songs. So there's 5 songs on the demo that's coming out soon, I promise.
It's
But
a
some of
business. I
the
know how it is. I know how it is. I put out music too. I know how it is.
yeah, some of the songs were written years ago. I mean, I have music that I wrote when I was a kid that are some of my favorite pieces. I just recently connected with a local band here in Arizona, and they're truly a band, right? And I found them online, and just mostly because I've never seen myself as like a band member. I've always seen myself as a solo artist.
Okay.
But in this industry, it's very important to work with people and to grow and to learn from people. And I found this band, and they're kind of more jazz inspired, but they really needed a vocalist and a songwriter. And I heard their music, and I was like, this is so good. It's a little, it brings out a different side of my style. But one of the band members, he sent me like 4 beats, like songs, like short versions of tracks.
Yeah.
I immediately came up with melodies, and I haven't written the complete songs yet, but right now, currently, that's the music I'm working on. And I'm very thankful because I do have an ability. I can write stuff to music. But most of my original stuff, most of the stuff I write, it just comes to me when it comes, like mantra. My dad was staying with me. He's Jamaican, and he was humming one day. And whatever he was humming, I don't even know, it inspired the melody for mantra. And that's how I wrote the song. It was just like that. And songwriters will tell you, like, it's not that we steal ideas, but we are very openly inspired by other artists. Like, I'll hear something by somebody and I'm like, oh, like, but I could do this too. And then you run with it.
I agree.
So yeah, I'm working on a couple songs right now that they're originals, but they're not completely from my head. They're kind of a collaboration project. But I'm very, very organic when it comes to songwriting. I don't force it. I let it happen because I know I can let it happen, which is awesome.
Well, I'll tell you, the song is we're going to play a little bit right now, but it's very island. So I'm from the islands, mother's from Puerto Rico, West Indies. So I love the islands. First of all, very spring. I told you, very spring, summer. But I'll tell you, I know for me, I'm part of a group and I'm solo. So you're right. When you're with the group, it's a whole different kind of dynamics. That background singers and as a whole the band is much bigger. So it's like, it is different when you write for yourself. It's just when you can be really personal and deep and the music can be very different. But when you're in a group though, it's like you're the lead of the group. You got to showcase the group too at the same time. It's very interesting. We're going to play Mantra, a little piece of it right now, kids. Hopefully you guys can hear it.
And when I stumble, I will survive. I come so far. How can I fail? I'm gonna start. I'm gonna say it, and it fade out. I'll prove.
Well, I guess that's not capella version, isn't it?
That's not capella version.
So folks, she can sing, so you guys can hear her sing. That's why I'll play the other version. You can hear she can sing. Nowadays all the auto tune shit and everything, she can sing. No joke. Because folks do say stuff like that, don't they? They're gonna go, well, is that really her voice? Is that really this? Yeah. It's like, no, people, it's for real.
I think if done correctly, I think you can do a lot of fun stuff in the studio with auto tune.
Oh yeah.
I think I do believe that I have some vocal ability, so I use it when I need to, but I can sing live. I can,
yeah. But the thing is, I mean, you have to understand, there are all kinds of tricks in the studio that happen for everyone all the time. Mm-hmm. There are vocals that are I won't get into the weeds, of course, we don't know what this means, but there are vocals that get layered sometimes or overdubbed, and this happens where unless you sing live, you're live. Most of the time, things are recorded, and there's little buttons that get pushed here and there. I mean, it's nothing bad. It's nothing bad, like I said. Yeah. So you heard her sing. Let's go to this one now. Let's get there. Let's get the vocal. Let's get it there. I want, and you will see that I will fly. This is for me. I will fly. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. He must have filmed it everywhere, it seems like, the video.
I'm really obnoxious when I share things. And I am pretty private, but when I decide to announce things, which I don't do a lot, I'm like, in your face. You will hear this song. And even it's funny because I look at the stats every day, like on YouTube, and I have a couple people that didn't like it apparently. And I'm like, hey, at least you
it has 3. Okay, folks, this is how stupid this is, folks. I don't keep saying it. Okay, it has 1,000 likes, but 3 downvotes.
Yeah, but they watched it. They watched it, girl. I'm like, you watched it though.
I know, but it's like, it makes no sense. 3 people.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can't win them all. You can't win them all, and that's okay.
Yeah. You're right. But you're right. But you see, here's the thing. You went to completion. You completed a song. You completed a video, and you had the courage to put it out there. So that, to me, that's the win. So people have a right to judge it. They have a right to go, I don't like it. Or maybe they like the song, not the video. Maybe they like the video, not the song. Who knows?
Yeah.
People watch shows. You know, shows that. You never know. But it's a good video, folks. Make sure you go to, make sure I say correctly, to Kelsey Campbell on YouTube. You can see the video. It's on its entirety. It's really good. But it's very
everywhere now. It just got approved on Spotify, which was like, I mean, you know, it's, when I was younger, you know this, like it wasn't, you couldn't just put your stuff out there like you can now. And it's really, maybe for this generation, it's not a big deal. But for me, it's like such a lifelong dream to have it out there. It's scary, but it's like, oh my gosh, this is all I wanted my entire life, was just to make music and let people hear it. Yeah. It's like I'm living a dream, and I'm not famous and I'm not any of those things, but I'm still doing what I love, and it's pretty awesome. So.
Well, you know what it is? You know, Kelsey, the thing is, you know, no matter who hears it, someone's heard it.
Yeah.
There are folks who never complete anything. I have friends who talk stuff to death about what they're going to do, and they never do it because they're fearful or afraid, or they get sidetracked or whatever. You said, no, I'm going to do this EP, I'm going to do this song. You did it, you recorded it, you did a video, and the video's not something like she just like sitting in some warehouse. She's like all over the place in the video, filming it.
We were everywhere.
You were everywhere. But I'm saying, but that's the whole point, is that you are living the dream, and that right now it's like over 3,000 views. That's good. That's 3,000 people who actually watched it, enjoyed it, and I mean, that's, to me, that's. And all you need is one pair of eyes to change your life. I mean, that's all you really need. I mean, or one pair of ears. That's all you need. And I put out music too. I'm not on the Billboard charts or anything. I don't give a fuck. But I've made some money off it. I got fans. It's a dream for me. It's a dream. You know, right. I mean, like you said, it's something we like to do. It's a way of expression that's other than, for you, athleticism or acting. It's your own other expression. I think there's nothing wrong with that at all. You know, so that's very exciting. So you should feel proud of that. And why not? I said, there's a lot of folks out there who don't do it. So I want people to watch this and go, that's why I do the show, that you can do it too. It's right now, it's a little easier now because of Spotify and self-production. And you can also go to places like you can if you want CDs, folks, you can get those produced too.
Yeah.
There's you can do that. I mean, there's all kind of stuff you can do. Like I said, back in the old days,
it was, and if you try, and I remember before I really started pursuing wrestling, I remember buying CDs and burning them. And my senior project in high school, I made a CD, but I had to go to a studio, and it was way more expensive back then. And everything had to be done manually. Like nothing could be done on a laptop. Whereas now, like 4 out of the 5 songs I did on the demo were beats I did on my laptop. Like I did the vocals in studio, but that would never have been possible when I was younger. And so you know, there were ways to do it, but it was harder and it was more expensive, and you had to be very resourceful and very self-motivated, like extremely self-motivated. So
I agree with that. Nowadays, people, you understand, I have a cousin who doesn't have a YouTube channel. I'm like, why don't you have a YouTube channel? You're a rapper. Your songs are actually good. I don't understand why you just don't have one. You have videos there. Well, I'm just sharing them on. I'm like, why? I mean, it's free. So everybody, there's a lot of free shit out there. It's free.
It's just there. You can do it. There. Nothing's stopping you.
Nothing's stopping you. I think it's one of those kind of things that you can get your music out there. And now things are worldwide. So when you put it out there, someone from France can see it. Someone from Australia can see it. Someone from Alaska can see it. And you know, I knew that girl when she was a kid. And then, you know, and like the song. I mean, it's one of those things. I think now there's no excuse. Like I said, I'm doing audio dramas. You're doing music. Like there's no excuse to do it now. You can do it now. It's available for everybody. And it's not just us, it's everybody. Which I think though, it makes the even playing field because people like us can do it.
But you know what? what I want to say in response to that though, and I know I keep referring back to when we were growing up, because, I look at my parents, and my parents have a lot of talent, but they lived in a very different time where, like, and I'm very, this, I'm very vocal about mental health on social media. I'm very vocal about human rights, animal rights, like the things I care about, I'm vocal about, but it's because my parents, they had the same issues that I struggle with, but they did not have the platforms, and they did not have, the world was not as forgiving if you struggled with anxiety, which I do, or if you struggle with whatever. And if you got kicked down, it just was not as easy to get back up. It just wasn't. And so I know I was just lucky. I looked on TV, and there was not a lot of people that looked at me, but there was Mariah Carey, and she was like the only light-skinned mixed woman making music. So I'm grateful, because I'm reading her memoir. I'm like, wow, like she really was the perfect. So I think, we are self-motivated. It's easy to say, well, you can do it. But also I know that there are people maybe even older than us that are like, but I'm so scared because I was shot down so many. And I just, I failed so many times in public. Like I have just, and I'm coming into this industry older, and and ageism is a thing. And I just lean it. I'm like, I am 35, write that down. I'm cool with it. But I just want people to know that it is never too late to do what you want to do. And it's been scary, and you have been shot down, and you have been discouraged. And so have I. And no one posts about that stuff, but it's happened. And I think me coming out and like doing what I'm doing, it's not just about me. I feel like it's an obligation, because I want to do it, but also, like you said, one view can change someone's life. One person can be like, that's really just what I needed to hear. I just needed someone to say it was okay to try again. Because if you're not saying it, don't assume someone else is saying it. You got to speak up. And it's great to be a good example, but sometimes you just got to speak up and be a voice for people. And I'm not saying I am that person. I'm just trying to be what I know how to be. And I think people need to see that, they need to see people that are afraid and do it anyways. So.
No, that's true. And you're fearless. You go out there, you speak it, you talk it, you walk the talk. You are. You can say you're not. You are. You do. You walk it like you talk it. I know you do, girl. I know you do. You do. And that's fine. And you're growing into it more and more. And that's the thing. I mean, the education never stops. It just never stops. That's the whole point. Until we die, that's when it stops. You just keep it moving, keep learning, keep collecting, whatever, keep sharing, keep putting out there what you want to see and hear. I think that's something that's very important. And I agree with you. I talk about my mental health issues. I talk about everything. I talk about all kinds of stuff on my shows on purpose, because, like I said, when I was growing up, no one was talking about it. It was all secret. Everything was hush hush. It was a secret. That's what we're boiling over now, I think, with everything. We kept it all on the down low.
Yeah.
Gotta let it out. Gotta let it out.
Yep.
Let it out.
Yeah.
Kelsey Campbell, you are amazing. You are. I hope to can be part of your journey as you continue further with stuff, because I think you have a lot to offer, and I think the world's gonna be better for it.
Yeah, thank you. I hope so.
I really do mean that. And she's at IamKelseyCampbell.com. Go there and be square. Go there. Like I said, she's going to be in an upcoming series of which you'll just follow JLJ Media and you'll know more about that. But the song is Mantra. The EP is coming out at some point. It'll be coming out. I know how it is. It'll be out. It'll be out. But if you follow her, you'll know what's going on. Where can they follow you on social media? Wherever you want to
pretty much, I switched almost everything as I am Kelsey Campbell, except for my Twitter. I left that. That's World Changer 55. But yeah, I am Kelsey Campbell pretty much everywhere. Tumblr, Bisco, Instagram, my website, and then my Facebook page, Kelsey Campbell, YouTube, Kelsey Campbell, Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, Apple, everywhere. Like I'm obnoxiously going to be present forever.
I do the same thing, girl. I do the same thing.
Yes.
I do the same thing. Blanket everything. That's my motto. And you can follow me where all James Lott Jr.'s are sold at James Lott Jr. everywhere, including TikTok. Apparently, I had a video go viral, and
that's so exciting. I don't get TikTok. I guess
I didn't get it either, girl. But I have videos at almost 10 million, and it's gone viral. So I don't even know. I know
that is so awesome. That's so exciting. I guess you gotta give me a little lesson. Help a sister out.
yeah, always. But go and taste James Lott Jr. That's the easiest thing. JLJ Media is everywhere. All my online dramas are everywhere. My music's on SoundCloud also, and all the Spotify's and Apples. And I have 2 new songs coming out next month, so you'll get those.
Because I'm not following anyone on SoundCloud because I'm figuring.
I'm follow you. I'm gonna follow you too. I just I gotta follow her on SoundCloud. I try to follow people with SoundCloud, so I try to follow them. But all my music's on there. Everything's on there. Please be careful, safe out there. Show compassion, and we'll see you next time.
Yay.